Long ago, when the lanes of South Devon whispered with the creak of cartwheels and the hedgerows hid their secrets, a man named Richard Ellicombe came to the parish of Totnes. He was not born to the ancient soil of that place, nor to the rhythm of its tides or the mercy of its folk. But he married well, one of the Greys, an old family with a crest above the chapel door and silver buried in the church vault of St. Mary's. Richard was a hard man, stern of mouth, stingy of hand, and known for a sharp stick and a sharper temper. He claimed discipline was next to godliness, though few saw him in a pew until the Greys insisted he join them at St. Mary's, its towering red sandstone walls and ribbed vault casting long shadows over the congregation. In his declining years, bent and yellow-eyed, Richard liked to boast that he'd never missed a chance to strike a boy or pig, nuisances to his mind, with little difference between them. Despite his ill humors, he lived long. The Greys, whose fortunes grew with every acre and marriage, built Grey Manor during those years, a house of such proud stone that even the rooks nested there in orderly lines. The family tolerated Richard because blood, once mingled, was a stubborn tie. When he finally died, childless and unrepentant, in 1829, the Greys faced a dilemma. He had requested to be buried in the family vault beneath the chancel of St. Mary's, a place reserved for the honored dead, those of blood, grace, and legacy. Reluctantly, and out of duty rather than affection, the Greys complied. The vault beneath St. Mary's was a cold chamber of stone, reached by a narrow staircase behind the altar, sealed with an iron-bound door. Shelves of coffins lined the walls, each etched with the family's lineage: John Grey, 1750, Margaret Grey, 1785, Captain W. Grey, lost at sea, 1808, and now, wedged uneasily among them, Richard Ellicombe, 1829. Decades later, when the vault was opened to admit another body, the trouble began. The workmen who descended into the crypt returned pale. "He's not where he ought to be," they said. Richard's coffin was found not on its shelf among the Greys, but resting on the top step of the stairway, as if someone or something had placed it there with intent. They blamed it on shifting stones, damp, or rats. The coffin was returned to its place, with muttered apologies to the dead. But in 1851, when the vault was opened again for the Dowager's interment, there it was once more, Richard Ellicombe's coffin, dust-covered and sunken, sitting solemnly on the top step, barring the way. This time, they took greater care. 4 men carried the coffin back to its shelf, securing it with brass fittings. The vault was resealed, the door reinforced. The vicar of St. Mary's said prayers, adding quietly that some spirits did not rest when buried on borrowed soil. The 3rd time, it happened again. The Greys gathered in the hall of Grey Manor. "He is not of us," said one. "He never was." An elder cousin, with sharp eyes and a limp, whispered, "He strikes out still, that old sinner, even in death." They considered reinterring him in the churchyard, but no one would dig the grave. Others suggested holy rites or salt and iron, but tradition held them bound. 5 times in total, across 100 years, whenever the vault was opened, Richard Ellicombe's coffin was found on the top step, as though the family below had carried it there, casting him out like a traitor at the gate. Locals say the Greys had their revenge in silence, in the chill of the crypt and the weight of bloodlines. It was not the earth that rejected Richard Ellicombe, but the dead. He who had struck boys and pigs with equal joy had found himself the target at last, nudged by unseen hands, his presence refused by the very bones he thought himself equal to. Today, The vault beneath St. Mary's lies, sealed and untouched. The last grey was buried in 1923, and no one dares open the door again. But the key still hangs in the vestry, rusted and heavy, and those who've turned it say it feels warmer than it ought. On All Hallows Eve, some swear they hear the scrape of something being dragged across stone in the depths of St. Mary's, the slow shift of a coffin inching its way toward the light. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, feel free to share your thoughts.